changing demon eyes. It wasn't that long ago that you'd have to chop up a bunch of stupid parts, put them together in a way they weren't designed to be, and then figure out how to control them. These days you can find RGB everywhere, whether that's tucked inside of clothing, on the bottom of your truck, or even inside your toilet. It's 2021 and this is still my favorite controller, so stay tuned because this video is going to be all about XK Chrome. Here they are. These are the finished up 350Z JDM style black housing headlights from Depot that simply have RGB demon eyes and etched lenses inside. Now these are the super insanely bright diode dynamics demon eyes, and I mounted them on the bottom part of the projector bowl so that it hooks the light upward, which is why when I'm at different angles right here, it's really just throwing that light right at the camera, as you can tell. So that also means that if you're looking at the lights from here, they're actually throwing light up there. So that's kind of the angle. You can see it just shooting upward like that. I'm really happy how they came out. That's got a nice little side benefit of lighting up those little Iron Man style looking projector shroud. And I'm gonna give you a little demo here about things that you can do so that when you turn them off and turn them back on, they will do anything you want.
Bitch, you know what I want.
I have the XK Chrome app here. As I move my finger around that little dial, it's actually gonna turn the color of whatever it is that I am touching. So that's a nice little thing because you can dial in visually exactly the color that you want. So like a yellow, and sure enough, there we've got that yellow look. But we've also got a bunch of different options here, including themes. So like this one is called Easter, and it's just panning through a bunch of kind of lighter, almost like pastel colors. I'm gonna click on Memorial Day, which is giving us this red, white, and blue flashing. And those are the only three colors that are in there, red, white, and blue. So if we wanna modify this, we just slide it carefully over to the left, not too far, otherwise it'll automatically delete. We can come over here and we can modify it. Now we can change the little wavelengths, the way that it does the animation itself. So as you see, as I tap on these different styles, if I come down to like a flat line, then it's just gonna gradually fade from color to color. So it's changing to the animation style that I like, and then it's also doing any of the colors that I like. So for example, there's no yellow in there currently, but if I wanted to add yellow to Memorial Day, just come over here to yellow, save it, and now we should have yellow in the mix with the red, white, and blue. And sure enough, there it is. So if I like that, let's say I mess with some other stuff, this Canada Day. Now I've just got red and white. But I also want, every time I turn this thing on for the first time, I want it to do that Memorial Day that we were doing before. I'm gonna activate it, and you can see that it says that channel 1 and 2 are on there. And I'm gonna slide it over, and I'm gonna set it as default. And I'm gonna say on startup. So now, if I go back to Canada Day, for example, and we're on white and red, and then I kill power to it, well, I've set it to where as soon as this thing sees power for the first time on startup, it's gonna do that Memorial Day with red, white, blue, and yellow. And sure enough, there's our blue, our white, our red, and our yellow. And we could change that startup theme anytime we want. We just want it to be pink as soon as we turn it on for the first time, then we can absolutely do that too. So let's just set this one nice pink color. And then same thing, I click this little plus, I can say set as default, startup theme, come over here, put it back to St. Patrick's Day, doing cool stuff, turn it off. When I turn it back on, it'll be pink. And that is because we saved it as our startup theme. So XK Chrome does not come with a little remote control like this, but I strongly suggest it because if you don't have this, then what you're gonna need to do if you wanna get that cool function is physically hit the kill power button. And we don't want to do that. We'd rather do that with the remote control, which is why I've been advocating towards XK Chrome with the remote control for years and years. Now, if you've been watching this channel for very long, you know I always talk about XK Chrome, but I'm gonna show you just one more time, just because I think it's worth doing, a little unboxing, and there's no box, it's just in a little plastic bag. Oh, and by the way, all of this addressable RGB stuff, I don't really do that kind of stuff either usually, but I'm filming a lot of that coming up and finishing those Veloster lights that have all the addressable. I got you, Steve, but check it out. This is what I'm gonna open right now. So in the little thing, this is the XK Chrome Mini. Literally, I'm gonna show you how to void your warranty by messing stuff up. This whole thing right here that's the controller. This little red wire right here is just an extra input, and then these two wires next to it are power and ground. So you technically don't even need more than what you can see dongling out of my hand right now. This is just a bunch of stuff to be fancy and kind of confuse people, but I'm gonna show it right now how it works, and then I'm gonna throw it away. All right, let's unplug these guys really quick. I'm gonna hook up ground and power to this little button harness. Now you'll know if it's on because there's a little blue light that comes on. But that is just a fancy way of getting power from this into this. So if I plug it in here, and now I turn on that button, you're gonna see two things come to life. One is that little blue light, and then this is a little white light that you can see glowing. If I have something that is native to XK Glow, meaning any of their products will just plug directly into this guy, boom, check us out. We've got a plug and play strip. I can push this little button, change all the colors, and I can open up the app. Now, if you look right here, my bench is changing color as I do all of this stuff, but this strip is not, and it only shows that there is one channel. So I'm gonna add the new controller that I just plugged in. It's gonna say tap to pair. It wants me to put it right next to it. It's gonna pair, sync up, and then it says congratulations, like I achieved something. All right, anyway, we've got our color changing Bluetooth now, and it's that simple. Now, what if I wanted to plug in a generic RGB strip like this little thing right here? I have it wired up to RGB, but there's no cool little connector to plug directly in like the XK Glow products. They actually make it pretty easy for you. This is just a little adapter. So I'm gonna strip the ends of the wire off of this guy, and then I'm just gonna plug it into that adapter, and we're gonna see how that looks in comparison to the one directly from XK Glow. One weird thing that I found is that you kind of have to strip these things further than you would think so that the little adapter can grab the wire. Now check it out. All of the colors, all the functions work, except for those 3 LEDs. Look at those guys right there. Bastards! Why are you making me look stupid? But that was pretty easy, right? And check this out. Here's another cool thing. If we unplug that one, and then we plug in the one that's made for it, then we can actually plug in the other one to the end of that, because these things are made to stack up like Legos. And boom, we got them. You can also see a pretty decent side-by-side comparison. That's pretty dope. All right, last lesson on the XK Chrome unit. I'm gonna chop off all the extra wires, and I'm gonna show you the bonus wire and talk just a little bit about how you can use that feature as well, especially if you've got a multiple button remote like this. I have this specifically for these GTR lights. So I've got 4 different functions, and I want to be able to control all of them. But if you're using an XK Chrome and you want to have a remote control with at least 2 buttons, 2 channels, unlike the first one that I showed you where it was just an on and off setting, then you can use something like this, number 1, to turn on the XK Chrome, and number 2, to turn on that bonus mode. Let's check it out. All right, let's get rid of all of the excess things, because we really didn't need all of that extra stuff there. That extra kill switch, I don't know. If you have it hooked up on a remote control, then that's just kind of a redundant little piece of hardware. So all of this literally scares people. It scares shops, it scares dudes. Don't be afraid of this, but just know you don't even need it because of what I'm gonna show you next. Also, something to note, once you've used this little adapter, you can see the way that everything's all set up in there, and then you can even chop this thing up and use it. I have a whole online course all about RGB wiring, so if you're interested in really learning and kind of diving in and seeing how you can mate all sorts of different products together and run all of them from the XK Chrome, you should check out the RGB wiring course. Here we go. I'm gonna undo this little twist tie here, and then I'm literally just gonna cut this wire because we don't need it. It's nice that there's a cool little barrel connection and all of that, but it's literally just extra work for us to have to do. So I'm gonna cut and strip these wires, and that is now gonna be exactly the same thing as having them hooked up to all that extra stuff that I had. It's just way neater, way cleaner, and I can run these directly to the power and ground on a remote control setup. I can also trim this little dude to length, because if I had these things hooked up to a remote control, I would have this wire hooked up at the same exact spot. Just for the sake of being extra thorough, I'm gonna show you yet another kind of remote. This one you can pick up on Amazon, or you can find something similar at like an AutoZone or O'Reilly. I just want to show you what it looks like when you plug in the XK Chrome to a remote control that has multiple buttons like that. So if this is valuable, smash the like button. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss all these free, dope, awesome, little valuable nuggets of knowledge. Okay, same as those other things. I'm just gonna twist these up so they don't fray. And then I'm gonna hook them up to power and ground. First it says ground, then power, so. And then last but not least, I'm going to hook this up to the second output for power. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it on, and then now I can even turn on the second mode, which is always defaulted to red. So that little bonus mode wire, that second little red wire that we hooked up, that guy, if I try to turn it on by itself, it's not gonna do anything. All that it is an override for the regular setting that's on there. So this has to be on first, then you can turn it to this. But the awesome thing is we can even jump back into the app. We can set it to whatever color that we want here, but then we can come up and we know that it is our new zone 1 that we have edited. And here we go, it says zone 1. This is our smart sensor action. If I click on that, we could change it to all sorts of different stuff. We can throw another color in there, and let's just say that's gonna do it for us. I'm gonna save this, and now check this out. If I turn it off and back on, it's gonna default to whatever color is the startup setting for the regular zone. But now, when I turn on that second thing, that bonus wire is now triggering our weird little animation that we're looking at here. And if I wanna change it up, I can just edit that one more time, come in here. Let's say I want it to look like a nice smooth transition between everything. Go back, save it, turn it off, turn it on, and now we're just blending and cruising. And again, coming back to our kind of original action that we have here. Notice it doesn't show what I'm doing right now because this is overriding. That cool little bonus mode is on right now. Now imagine if you had that hooked up to your brakes, and every time you step on the brakes, it overrides whatever's going on, like on a motorcycle, and it just automatically goes to red. That's what that's for. But let's just say that we are gonna stick with our idea of pink. We're gonna set as default, and then we can turn it on. Let's even go to the sound of my voice, so we could change it to different colors. So if I'm being really quiet, it'll be like this. But then if I'm all loud, it'll just max out because this thing has got sensitivity that we can control here. So let's say that we have it set to that, and then we just turn it off. Turn it back on, we got that pink, right? And then if I have it go back to this mode because my phone was still open and it just kind of kicked over to it, but I hit that number 2 button, it's gonna override that too. So it doesn't matter what kind of cool setting I have my phone on, whether it's themes or whether it's the dial here. If I have that bonus mode connected, nothing else is gonna happen besides what we told the bonus mode to do. That is entirely more than you probably thought you were gonna get in this video, but I want you to know XK Chrome can do all the cool things, and that is a $44 XK Chrome Mini that I showed you. There's also the regular one that's $100 with 2 zones built in, but I tend to like to use 2 minis or 3 or 4 because it can stack all the way up to 12 different sections on the car. So definitely a cool way to do it, and it's great for in here in the workshop because I don't have to have wires connecting absolutely everything. I can just do it in zones. Pretty dope. Okay, that is it. Thank you so much. If you want to learn more RGB wiring, the course, I'm going to put it in the description below. I think it's $50. It's pretty dope. People have been buying it a bunch in December and January. So I invite you. Hope to see you inside of there. And until next time, I'll see you.